Ever wish things would just work, the way they're supposed to? Like, seriously, imagine a world without that spinning wheel of doom or your car deciding to, like, totally break down
Worst.
on the way to a big meeting.
The absolute worst.
Right. Talk about stress.
Totally.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
dependability engineers, they're
Well.
all about creating that world. And you know what's cool?
What?
They don't just, like, swoop in when things break.
Interesting.
They're there from the very beginning, making sure stuff is built to last.
I see.
So today, we're diving deep into what they actually do.
Cool.
And trust me, it's way more interesting than it sounds. We've got these excerpts from a dependability engineer career guide, right?
Yeah.
And some info about a platform that's using AI to, like, navigate the whole job market thing. It's kind of a weird combo.
Interesting.
But it works.
Okay, let's do it.
So this career guide,
Yeah.
it doesn't mess around.
Okay.
It breaks down, like, everything from what they actually do to the skills you need and all that.
I follow you. Yeah.
And one thing that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was this thing called FMEA.
Okay.
I know.
Another acronym.
Another acronym. But hold on.
All right, yeah.
Because this one's actually really cool.
Okay, tell me more.
I'm sure you know what it is, but...
So, FMEA, failure mode and effects analysis.
Right.
It's this really systematic way to, like, play devil's advocate with a system.
Interesting.
Like, imagine going through every single little part of something, looking for anything that could go wrong. A component, the software, anything.
Wow.
They think of it all.
So it's like preventative medicine, but for, like, tech.
Exactly. Instead of, like, annual checkups, it's blueprints,
Right.
simulations, all that. Trying to prevent those oops moments.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the guide also talks of communication. Like, they need to be really good at it.
Right.
Even persuasion.
Oh, interesting.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Persuasion is crucial, though. They're not just, like,
Right.
off doing their own thing.
Yeah.
They have to explain these really complex ideas, sometimes to people who don't really speak tech.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Designers, the people actually putting it together.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have to convince them to, like, really prioritize reliability.
Which can be hard.
Which can be tough.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that means
Yeah.
spending more upfront or choosing the less flashy option.
Right, right.
It's more like, trust me, this is better in the long run.
It's like, I know this might be a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But you're going to thank me later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're thinking long term.
It's hard to do that these days.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially in a world of, like, newer, faster, cheaper.
Newer, better, faster. Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so then the guide says something really interesting.
What's that?
It says automation.
Okay.
It makes dependability engineers even more important,
Oh, absolutely.
which seems kind of counterintuitive, right?
Right.
But it makes sense when you think about it.
It does, because think about it.
Like self-driving cars.
Exactly. Self-driving cars, systems that are, like, running our infrastructure, a tiny glitch,
Big problem.
huge consequences.
Exactly.
So, yeah, this field, it's only going to become more important.
Right, no pressure.
Right.
Okay, so that brings us to this other thing we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
This platform, RoleCatcher.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's kind of a weird jump, but...
How does that relate?
So it's a platform that's all about, like,
Oh.
optimizing your job search.
Interesting.
And you could say that it's kind of using these ideas, right? The dependability ideas, and applying them to the job market.
I see.
Because let's face it, the job market,
It's
a black box. It's all algorithms and stuff. So
right.
what RoleCatcher is doing is they're trying to bring, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
some dependability to the process.
I like it. Makes sense.
It's like, how do we help you not have that oops moment of, like,
Yeah.
didn't get the job?
Exactly.
So they use AI
Mhm.
to analyze job descriptions, figure out what skills are important,
Cool.
all that stuff
I like it.
to help you,
Navigate it all.
navigate it. Yeah.
Very cool.
So we've been talking about these dependability engineers.
Yeah.
Like, they're the behind the scenes heroes, right?
Okay.
Making sure everything runs smoothly.
Exactly.
But what if, like, what
Yeah.
if someone's listening to this and thinking,
Okay.
hey, this sounds like me.
I could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, maybe this is a career path.
It's a good question because it's
Yeah.
becoming such an important field.
Exactly. And this guide we have,
Yeah.
it actually goes into the skills you need.
Yeah.
And it's not just like
Yeah.
being a tech whiz,
Right.
which is kind of cool,
But
right?
it's a good thing because you need
You need more.
a blend,
Yeah.
like hard skills and soft skills.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but they're all important, right?
Equally important in a job like this.
Okay, so like what kind of background are we talking?
So you definitely need a solid engineering background.
Okay.
Mechanical, electrical, anything like that.
Got it.
Because you're analyzing data, solving problems.
That makes sense.
That's the foundation.
Okay.
But then there's this whole other side.
Right, right.
Communication, problem solving.
Yeah, being able to like think on your feet, right.
Exactly. And that doesn't always come with like
okay.
a traditional engineering education.
No, it's a different skill set.
It is. And this guide,
Yeah.
it emphasizes persuasion, which I thought was interesting.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
That's not the first thing that comes to mind.
Right. When you think engineer, you don't think persuasion.
Exactly.
But they need to convince people
Yeah.
to invest in reliability.
It's a tough sell sometimes.
It is, because sometimes the best solution,
Yeah.
it's not the cheapest or the fastest.
No, it's not the obvious one.
Sometimes
Right.
Exactly.
So being able to explain that.
And communicate it
Yeah,
to
it's
other people.
super important.
It is.
It's almost like they need to be fluent in like 2 languages,
Yes.
tech and human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then problem solving, which
Right, because it's more than just fixing something when it breaks, right?
it's anticipating problems.
Yeah.
Before they happen, it's thinking ahead,
Yeah.
like really far ahead.
So it's a very strategic type of thinking.
Yes. Very strategic.
Wow, okay, it's a lot.
It is.
You need the technical side, the people side, the strategic.
And you need to be adaptable,
Oh, right,
because technology changes so fast.
constantly changing.
least
And so
you
you need to be like always learning.
Always learning, yeah.
Huh, you know what's interesting to me?
It's that.
All these skills we're talking about.
Yeah.
Communication, problem solving, adapting.
Yeah.
That's like
It's valuable for everyone,
everyone, especially like
especially these days.
with AI and all that.
Right. It's like, how do we stay relevant?
Right, how do we adapt?
Exactly.
It's almost like dependability engineering.
Yeah.
It's like a model for
For what we should all be doing.
yeah, like how to approach your life and career.
I like that.
It's about
Being proactive.
proactive, yeah, and always trying to improve.
Always improving.
Which brings us back to RoleCatcher.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because they're doing that,
Okay.
but for the job market.
Right. Right.
And that can be a scary place, so.
It can be. It's very unpredictable.
So they're trying to make it more dependable, right?
Exactly. Providing some guidance
Instead of just like throwing your resume out there,
into the void.
hoping for the best.
Yeah. Hoping something stick.
They're trying to help you be more strategic.
Exactly.
So they use like AI for all of it, right?
They do. It's all AI powered.
It's not just like generic advice.
No. They're analyzing data,
They're finding patterns
finding what works.
to give you an edge.
Exactly.
I love it.
So have you seen their like resume builder thing?
Yeah, the CV resume builder.
Yeah, that one.
It's really cool because it's not like those
Yeah.
generic templates.
No, not at all.
It actually,
It helps you beat the system, right?
yeah, the ATS, the applicant tracking system, which can be,
The worst.
I know.
But they use AI
Yeah.
to analyze those job descriptions
Okay.
and figure out what keywords you need.
Right, because it's not just about
Right.
getting it past the computer.
Yeah, this has to appeal to the humans too.
Right, so it's like,
They crack the code
yeah.
of how to get hired.
It's like having like
What?
a little coach in your pocket.
Yes. A career coach in your pocket.
Right.
And it's available 24/7.
24/7, no complaints.
Exactly.
No charging you by the hour. You're
Exactly.
great.
And that's not all.
There's more.
They have a ton of resources for interview prep.
Okay, like what?
They have over 120,000 practice interview questions.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is. Everything from the basics, like tell me about yourself,
Yeah,
to those really tough questions that, like,
that throw you off.
exactly.
Okay, that's cool, but wait.
But there's more.
I know there's more. Okay, what else?
They give AI-powered feedback on your answers.
No way.
Yes.
So it's not just about what you say.
It's how you say it.
Wow, okay.
They analyze your tone, your expressions.
So like they're reading your mind.
Almost. They're looking for those subtle things.
Wow, so it's really comprehensive.
It is.
It's like they thought of everything.
It's all about optimizing.
Right, making it the best it can be.
Exactly, like a dependability engineer.
I was just thinking that. It's the same principle, right?
It is. Making sure things don't just work, but work well.
This is so cool.
It is.
It's like we're seeing a theme here.
Right.
So we've been talking about dependability engineers
Right.
and how they're like the unsung heroes, keeping our tech world running. And we
Yeah.
talked about RoleCatcher and how they're using AI
Right.
to bring that like reliability to the job market.
That makes sense.
But there's this whole other side we haven't really talked about. Like, what about the human side of all this?
That's the big question, right?
Right, right. Because it's cool that we can build all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
These complex systems, AI, all that, but...
What happens when we do?
Exactly. Like, what are the consequences?
Because it's not enough to just assume they'll work perfectly.
Right, because nothing's perfect.
Right. And we have to think about the downsides.
Yeah, the what-ifs.
Exactly.
Because we're becoming so reliant on these systems.
More and more every day.
So what are some things we should be thinking about?
Well, one thing is this thing called automation bias.
Automation bias. Okay.
Basically, it's when we trust these automated systems.
Okay.
Even when they're wrong.
Oh, like when your GPS tells you to drive into a lake?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except it's not just a wrong turn anymore.
Right, right.
Imagine that level of trust in, like, the power grid.
Or healthcare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The stakes are much higher.
Okay, so how do we avoid that?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, because we can't just, like, not use technology.
Right. It's here to stay.
So how do we make sure it's used ethically?
It starts with remembering that technology is a tool.
Okay.
It can be used for good or bad.
Right, so it comes down to human choices.
Exactly. We can't just outsource our ethics to algorithms.
So we need to be more mindful.
Yes. About what we build, how we use it, all of it.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It is, but it's on all of us.
That's a good point. It's not just on the engineers.
No, it's everyone.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
Oh, absolutely. All the cool things we can do.
But we have to think about the consequences, too.
Exactly, the good and the bad.
So, as we wrap up here,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want listeners to take away from all this?
You know, dependability engineering.
Yeah.
It might seem like this very specific thing, right?
Right, like for building bridges and stuff.
Right, but it's really about so much more than that.
It's like a philosophy almost.
It is. It's about creating systems that are reliable, ethical.
Yeah, and that benefit everyone.
Exactly.
Those ideas apply to everything.
To everything. Our careers, our relationships, everything.
Being more dependable, more resilient, thinking ethically.
Those are skills we all need.
Especially in this crazy world we live in.
Absolutely.
So it's like a blueprint, right?
A blueprint for a better future.
I love that. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to...
To go practice what we preach.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and most importantly,
Stay dependable.
see you next time.